Hey YouTube, what is going on? Today is EK here, and I am so excited to share this new video to you today. As you can see, I have parts here for a almost brand new computer. So here is my old rig here, Old Faithful. As you can see, it is a little dusty. If you can tell from the video, I have my stickers from all the old parts I had in it, and this guy has served me pretty well for the last, I would say, 5 to 6 years. So it was time for me to completely revamp all my stuff, case and everything. And so I'm taking this away. Ouch. And going into 2020, the new era, the only things I'm bringing from my old build is my Gigabyte RTX 2070 Super. This graphics card is only a year old and it's still performing extremely great. So I'm taking this with me, and also my storage, because I have two 1 terabyte SSDs that I don't see why I have to replace, because these are still really good SSDs. And all my stuff is already on there, so I don't have to reinstall Windows or anything. As you can see, I have a Corsair 750M, CX750M power supply, 750 watts. That's going to be semi-modular. For my new motherboard, I have a ASUS Republic of Gamers Strix B50F gaming motherboard. So for my processor, I'm going with an AMD Ryzen 5 3060X. Next, for memory, I have some RGB Corsair Vengeance Pro. Now these are the only thing RGB I bought, just because at least I wanted something RGB. And then lastly, I'm putting it all into a Corsair, I'm putting it all into a Corsair 275R airflow case. All in all, this build, including the graphics card and even the storage, it's about anywhere between $1,600 to $1,800, depending on like what the price range is. This graphics card alone was $500. I think it's going for like $600 to $700 now, just because it's so rare. I bought these storage whenever it was on sale. So anytime I found a terabyte for $100, I would buy it if I needed it. So between these two is like 180. This is a good 500. So combined with everything here, it's about a $1,800 to $1,700 rig. So it's a pretty dang good rig, I hope. I'll show you the comparisons after I built this. Like I recorded some tests, some stress testing, some frame rates, and just to show you guys what I was dealing with before to what I'm going to be doing now. Anyways, enough raw talk. Let's start building this computer, which I'm super excited for. So let's start doing this, baby. that. That boy's on. Like that. And here you are. Here is my build for 2020 going into 2021. So here, let's look at some comparison tests between my old computer and my new computer. So the program I use is called 3D Mark. It's on Steam for free for anyone who wants to test out the computer and see how well they're performing. What it does is that it runs a few tests on your GPU and your CPU, and then it gives you a kind of relative score on what it believes is to be good versus bad with current technology. So what it'll give you is essentially one for your graphics, one for your CPU, and then overall score of those, kind of like an average of those two scores. And then you can look at other things, the stats, depending on how much, whether you use the free version or the paid version. What you can also do is compare your results online to other builds. So what they have done is basically built a different sets of gaming rigs. Some the bottom one I believe is like a kind of like a gaming laptop, and then like a normal gaming rig, a high-end gaming rig, and then a super fancy one. And they've scored those out as well, and you can see where your computer kind of stands in between all these. So let's look at our current score right now. As you can see, overall my scores in terms of my old build was in the 7,000s, which is not bad. Overall, my GPU is basically the best thing, and my CPU is basically out of date. It's basically throttled by my CPU at this point. But if we look at the online comparison, we can see that, in terms of where I stand with my current build in 2020, it's right below a decent gaming rig. It's like I can still game with it, like I still do right now, but or at least I did before. But in terms of like if I want to do anything extra, like stream or stream and game at the same time, it's basically gonna be pretty heavy duty task on my computer. So gaming is fine. Like I can play Red Dead Redemption and anything like just fine. But if I want to do anything heavier or like even next gen gaming, which is coming pretty soon, obviously with PS5 and the new Xbox out already, like all the new games that are coming out pretty soon in the next 2 or 3 years, it's gonna be pretty hard for this computer. So definitely that's why I wanted to upgrade. So I ran the same test with my new build, and now let's look at these numbers. As you can tell, they have dramatically changed. Even my graphics card score has went up a little bit from 9,000s, mid 9,000s to over 10,000. My CPU score went from 3,800 to over 7,000, which is great. That's exactly what I was expecting. And my overall score went up to over 9,000. So now I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. According to this, it's in excellent shape, especially compared with a lot of the gaming rigs out there. I guess I don't know who exactly is downloading this sucker, but I'm guessing I'm better than the average gaming rig out there. Let's look at the online comparison, and as you can see, my score is right above a normal gaming PC. So it's almost 1-to-1 at this point. So might as well. There's not really that much difference. I thought it would go to as high as a high-end gaming PC, be in the 11,000s or even the 10,000s, but I guess maybe if I got a slightly better CPU, it probably would have been up there. But unfortunately it's not, but at least it's better than 84% of the rigs out there. So I'm pretty happy with what I got. But enough of me talking. Let's go into some actual gameplay and see how this goes. So first off, I have here some Black Ops Cold War gameplay, and here I am astonished as how much I was getting and how good my frames per second were. Of course, my settings are set pretty low because I have it kind of set to like a gamer or a competitive gamer kind of settings where, you know, you have kind of low graphics, you turn off all the cinematic stuff, and you just have pure, you know, everything is kind of set for high frame rate. So for Black Ops, for Cold War Black Ops, I am getting on average 140, 130 frames per second. Like, I mean, my monitor maxes out at 144, so I am pretty much maxing out my monitor when I'm playing Cold War, multiplayer Cold War. So I am pretty happy with the results here. I mean, you can probably look at my counter in the top left corner and see where my frame rates are. I mean, it's pretty high, and it's definitely noticeable from when I used to play. Previously, I was probably more like getting in the low 100s, and it was still pretty good. But seeing now in the high 140, like, you know, in the 130s and 140s, it definitely, the world is like completely different. It's like my eyes have opened up or something. It's crazy. And my GPU, in terms of it's not even working as hard actually. It's in terms of how the temperature of it, it stays pretty nice in the 50s degrees Celsius. So I'm pretty happy with the overall performance of my graphics card right now in Cold War. And then now we have some Warzone as well, which is definitely a lot more resource heavy. I was hoping to get more frames, to be honest, when I was playing Warzone. I was hoping to max out on Warzone, but it turns out I think I'm going to need pretty much a high-end gaming PC in order for it to do this. Like, pretty much a much more powerful CPU and maybe even more RAM in order to pull that off. But overall, like here, I'm just playing some Plunder, just to test out like how good my new rig is, and I am pretty happy. So on average, I would say I am somewhere above 100 most of the time. Right now I'm also streaming, so it is using more resources than I normally would. But luckily there's very little difference between when I do stream and I don't stream, which is, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but before on my old rig, if I were to stream using Streamlabs or something, my frame rates would just be cut in half. Like I used to average at least 70 to 80 frames in Warzone on my old rig, and then if I were to stream it, it would just drop below 60 immediately because it was just using so much more resources. Now I think, you know, because of the new technology, is able to do multitask a lot better. I don't see a drop in frame rate, or at least if there is, it's very minimal. So even in Warzone, I'm able to average above 100, maybe more so in the high 90s, depending on what I'm doing. But I am getting still very, very good frame rate overall. Like on average, I'll never go below 60. The only time I go below 60 is like when I'm in the plane right before I drop. And for some reason, it just always has low frame rate. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just the game is just loading up for everyone, including me. So maybe that's just why it's doing that at the time. So I don't know really why. Overall, during gameplay, I'm not complaining at all. Like, you know, for the most part, if you're looking up to the upper left, my numbers are still really, really good. Like for a decent gaming PC right now. I mean, I wish it was a little better, to be honest. You know, I could probably do a little bit of tinkering on the back end to bump it up to maybe average three digits. But overall, like, I'm very happy on what it is now to what it was before. Like I said, I was barely like above 60 frames before. It was 60 to 70. Now it's in the high 90s to low 100. So if you never experienced what that's like in terms of frame rates, I can guarantee it's a huge difference. So if you're wondering if there's any really big difference between 60, 90, 120, yes, there is a huge difference, and trust me, just even when I was playing, I was like, I couldn't like take my eyes off the screen. It was like so pretty, or like that was kind of like what I was feeling and whatnot. But anyways, this is my new. I'll have a link of all the products in the description below so that you guys know what I bought and have exact links on Amazon. I didn't buy it all on Amazon, but I'll link it all to Amazon because that's like the easiest place to link to right now. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate those of you who are watching with me during this process. I'm sure a lot of you are considering, getting a gaming PC or upgrading your gaming PC. And during the pandemic right now, it's probably a really good time since we're spending so much time at home. Though right now during the holidays, it might be a lot harder getting parts just because they're getting rare. Like, a lot of people are buying up parts right now. So if you can get it for cheap, then I highly recommend to do it and to snatch it up before it goes up, because during times like Black Friday, prices surge like crazy. So anyways, again, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please smash the like button so that it helps me with the YouTube gods. Comment below on what you think of my new rig, what you think about the stats and all the things I'm used to testing with. If you have other programs to recommend testing, please let me know. And overall, please subscribe to my channel for more gaming